All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show. It's overcast Saturday afternoon here in the New York, New Jersey area, but I'm sure we'll get through it. My name is Lou Tenora, and thank you for tuning in and calling in. The number is 512-543-4662. I'll repeat again, 512-543-4662. And we'll be here until just prior to 6 o'clock when Rusal McGee takes over with his fine program, which I'll be tuning in a little bit later. Remember that, as much as I like the calls, I like to get everybody's thoughts in, one at a time. So if you have a question, of course, feel free to bring it up, but wait till everybody else is done so that we don't step over each other's lines. Okay, just to keep in mind. And once we begin with the college football and pro football season, 5-minute rule goes into effect because I want to get as much pick as I probably can for the college and, of course, all the NFL. And more about that later. All right, so I'll bring in my callers in now. Steve Davidson, are you there? Steve Kent. Good. Diane. Jimmy. Nice. Good. All right. So, as much as I hate to begin on a downward note, but I must. First of all, I doubt a lot of people actually saw late Saturday night or US was playing against Sweden. Unfortunately, I did watch. I did turn that game actually, and was disappointed. But although I was not surprised because the U.S. team didn't really, I think had much, as they did in 2015 and 2019. They just looked flat. I think there was really something missing besides Megan Raponi, of course. But this team seem to have a lack of depth. They didn't seem like they came together as a full unit. I'll go on. The U.S. did play its best game of the World Cup, but it wasn't good enough, being Sunday morning's game. The Americans' bid to win a third straight title ended on Sunday morning on penalty kicks when Lena Herding converted with Sweden and knocked the U.S. out of the World Cup. It was a scoreless draw through regulation and extra time and had to go to kicks, and Sweden ended up on the winning end 5-4 on shootout penalties. But, of course, in reality, it was 1-0. It was the earliest exit tournament for the United States for the two-time remaining champion and four-time winners. They won back in 1999. I believe they won in 2007 or 2011. They did win, of course, in 2015 and 2007, then 2018 and 2015 and 2019, which was a very great game. So Julie Ertz said, "We did not put anything in the back of the net and was emotional after the loss." I understand. The penalties were tough. It's the emotion just because probably it was my last game ever. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Julie Ertz has decided to retire from U.S. soccer, or should I say competitive soccer to begin with. She was to retire last year, but she came back to see about coming back for the World Cup tournament this season. And so she decided to stay. But unfortunately, goes off on a very down note, which, like I said, does not surprise me. But I hate to be a downer. So, anywho, U.S. goalkeeper Alyssa, Nassir fruitlessly argued that she had saved Herding's attempt, but was ruled over the line. Yeah, what happened? The stadium played the stadium's. Now get this. I ain't gonna love this. The stadium played ABBA's Dancing Queen in the stadium as the Swedes celebrated. Oh boy, of course. Yeah. Well, for the U.S. team, the might as well played SOS. Never mind. Exactly. They got me in a theme now. Yuck. All right. So the U.S. was eliminated in the round of 16 for the first time in team history. The America's worst finish had been third place in 3 times. The loss was somewhat expected. I'm the only one who think I'm not the only one who thinks that. Okay. Based on Americans' listless play through three group stages of the matches. But they did play the best game of this World Cup against Sweden, only to have it go down side by penalty kick. Well, no, I think the first game they played, which ended up 3-0, I thought that was their best game. At least offensively. But I did not look at this as an easy tournament. And right from game one, I think we knew right then there this is not the same team that won in 2015 and 2019 when they just breezed through their opponents in preliminary play and throughout the knockout stage went out. This was not the same team. Now I don't know. It was a lot of good defense. Is this team getting older? I mean, even Alex Morgan is getting up there now in age. I think she's what 33 now or something. 33 is not the same thing as 23 when you're a professional athlete. People, I mean, the body starts to wear down. So maybe something happened with that. I mean, you know, physically, yeah, they were there, but maybe mentally they weren't. But nevertheless, Coach Flacco said he was proud of the team. I know we were criticized by the way we played for different moments on the stage. I think we came out last week. This was written on last Sunday. Showed the grit and resilience and the fight. The bravery showed we did everything we could to win this game. And unfortunately, soccer can be cruel sometimes. Well, that's true in any sport, of course. This was the first. This was the first match at this World Cup to go extra. Interesting. It was the fourth time the Americans went to extra time at the World Cup. All three previous matches went to penalty shootouts, including the 2011 final won by Japan. The U.S. won on penalties in 2011 in a quarterfinal match against Brazil, and the 1999 final at the Rose Bowl against China. Oh, I remember that. We were off. That was the game where Brendan Chastain. Well, For those of you who saw it, you know what I'm talking about. That penalty shootout in '99. I remember that very well, and so did people because I was down in South Orange that night. Actually, Diane, you haven't met me yet, but we were all in tune to it. And no, she didn't. She didn't until 2002. So anyway, we were all tuned into the game, and when we saw that penalty shootout, Brandy Chastain just went just went in complete celebration. And I think we know who those who saw the incident know what I'm talking about, right? Right. So Sweden knocked out the U.S. of the 2016 Olympics in the quarterfinals, also on penalties. Boy, we have a tough time against Sweden, not just in World Cup, but in any competition. Hmm, I don't know. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay. So she might play in the NWSL, right? Angel City. Okay. NWSL, Diane. That's the Women's Soccer League in the United States. Angel City. That's in Los Angeles. That's in Los Angeles. See, that's in Los Angeles, right? Right. Okay. I was trying to think what was the location of that actually, because they didn't say, because most teams, locate the city we're in. Angel City, well, LA Angels. I get it. Right. So Sweden went on to the quarterfinals to play Japan, the 2011 winner, which defeated Norway last week. Sweden has never won a major international tournament, either by World Cup or the Olympics. The closest they have come is World Cup runner-up in 2003. They finished third in 99, 2011, and 2019, and won silver in the last two Olympics. All right, guys. So, what do we make of this overall performance of the U.S.? I mean, maybe they could have done better, or maybe they just, weren't all there together. I mean, I'm disappointed, yes, but to say I'm completely shocked, no, I'm really not. And I think Alan is here, right? Okay, thanks. Thanks for tuning in. All right, group. So, what do we make of this performance and with the elimination of the U.S. in the World Cup? Steve Davidson, I'll start that with you. Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was a little worried about Portugal myself, Steve. I mean, I thought they were lucky to get away with a tie in that game. I didn't think they were actually going to even win that game. So I think the best they could have done was 2-1. In well, I'll go like 2-0-1 in group play because Portugal is nothing to take lightly. So I wouldn't say pathetic, disappointing, yes, but that's a little harsh. Well, all right, Steve Ken, your thoughts? Ooh, even worse. Right. You're right. You're right. I'll give you that. Right. I did. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. Yeah. It did. Oh yeah. No, no, it isn't. No. Oh, thanks. Revamping. Well, no, they do have the Olympics also next year as well. So, but I don't know if they're gonna, what that lineup is gonna be like, for that. I mean, they haven't done so well either in that competition as well. They haven't won since 2012 in the Olympics. So I'm a little worried about this myself. I mean, the biggest shock was the losing to the Netherlands. Tying with the Netherlands. That was the biggest shock right there. Portugal, I wasn't surprised at though. Uh, we only got a year to go. Ugh. All right, Jimmy, your thoughts? Yeah, so was I. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. It really is. A disappoint. It was disappointing. They didn't have the same chemistry at all on that one. Alan, your thoughts? Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm afraid so. I mean, that's how it all worked down. Ugh. No. Yeah, probably right. A far cry from the celebration we had back in the last World Cup because that was like, it was a frenzy over there, that's for sure. All right, Diane, your thoughts. Okay, but if you did, I mean, what did you think of the overall performance of this World Cup team? Mm, all right, fair enough. Yeah, they could have done better though. And we have another call. We have another call from the Washington area. I think I know who this is, but for the record, would you state your name? It's Ronnie. I thought so. Welcome back, Big Daddy Cash. That's right. Right. No, no K 007. All right, Bond. All right. Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. They were like the $6 million man. They were bigger, stronger, faster. And for those of you under the age of 40, I'll explain it another time. Oh boy, I'm showing my age here. I've trained her very well, folks. Okay. Ah, all right. So, well, it's on to now count down to the Olympics, and hopefully they'll perform better. All right, I want to turn down to some baseball trades as they came off of waivers the past couple of days, actually the last week. So we'll run down our respective teams and what do we make of that. So we'll start off with the New York Mets. Sorry, uh, sorry. All right, the Mets have called up Cole Sands from the minors. I think it was AAA. They've also called up Reed Garrett, called up from the minors, recalled as the 27th roster player. That's funny. They're doing that earlier this year. That's right. Because usually you wait till September 1st to get called up. Hmm, interesting. All right. Also, Denny Reyes purchased from the minors. They don't say which one though. Jimmy Yakubus designated for assignment. Um, we'll get down to Washington in a minute here. Oh, nothing from yesterday. Okay, fine. Orioles. Okay, go ahead. Yes, yes. The champions. Yep. Well, look, 007. 5 games left. 5 games back with about 45 to 50 to play. It's doable. I mean, it's not like we're in the last week of the season here, so there is time to catch up. So yeah, so I wouldn't say it's uh, put the nail in the coffin yet. Not by a long right. Well, I have some other baseball news before I get to the Orioles and stuff. Mike Trout was hitting off a pitching machine for the first time since he fractured a left hamlet bone, and manager Phil Nevin said he's closer to a return. Oh, good news for them. Trout has not played since July 3rd, and Nevin before said the start of the series against the Astros that the team believes they is close to return, but did not exactly pinpoint an exact date. He says there are still some hot spots. Angels. There's a hot spot when the wrist, said Nevin. They're natural. It's natural when these things happen with the surgery. It is not necessary where it is fixed, but the areas around it. So some areas can be sensitive, so you just got to keep on swinging. Trout hit off a tee last week. Nevin added, the more swings he gets, the more he'll start to feel like he can get ready to go. And Nevin thinks it'll be sooner rather than later. Hey, but want to catch some trout? Okay, right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I knew I should have said that. Okay. Remember, guys, the jokes are unscripted. Keep that in mind. All right, so it looks like Trout's coming back to his old self. Yeah. So it looks like Trout's coming back to his old self. And Steve, are you still here? Okay, never mind, never mind. I know who left. Okay. All right. No, I know someone who left was from the New York area, but that's okay. So anyway, um, so what do you make of Trout's return? I think it's going to be sooner than most people think as well. No thoughts. Okay. Okay. Yes. Right. Yeah. 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 Go ahead. All right. Yeah. You're right. Well, I think you're out playing for a contending team, so I think maybe well that has got everybody already. So I think maybe the Phillies, if they're gonna have any chance to, make a serious run. I mean, you can forget the Fish, you can forget the Marlins. I mean, the Mets. You can the Dodgers, yeah, or the Giants. Yeah. What else is new? All right. You got nothing. Yeah, but Big Daddy, their season's pretty much done. Yeah, I I know. But I mean the Nationals haven't really done anything all year, so I think it's a little bit late now. Basically you're just playing to not have 100 games losing in the season. No, that's the thing because the trade deadline can really tell the tale of where your season's going to go. If you can make a good trade and your team performs well, yes, they can make a run. If not, if you get a bad trade, that can really ruin your season. Not to mention all the injuries you've had on your team, and only adds to insult to injury. So the trade deadline, I think, means a lot. Heading into the second half of the season. Sometimes you can get a good trade, and your team can rise up in the standings, or they can be opposite and fall flat. Of course, if you're the, I was going to say I was going to say the A's, but okay. Oh no, yeah. I'm really disappointed though in Pittsburgh. I mean, they did so well to start the season, and now they're back to their old self. Ugh. But watch out for the Cubs. By the way, for you Met fans today, I'm sorry. Ugh. Let's put it this way, guys, because these two games against Atlanta, they have lost by a combined score. Are you ready for this, guys? You Mets fans might want to sit down. 20-0. Today was 13-0. Last night was 7-0. They should have called that game off. Payroll means nothing, like I've often said. Yeah, it is, especially for New York. It was a terrible game, Die. Yes, tonight's a doubleheader, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to play it because we're expecting rain and a lot of it. So it might be a blessing in disguise if we don't play. Sorry. Yeah, last check could be worse by now. Oh boy, because I checked that before I started the broadcast. By the way, Steve, I got some news. Yeah, if you want to, Steve, I got some news for you about. I do the jokes, guys. Remember? Okay. So anyway, Steve, I got some news for you about your Red Sox. Yeah, Chris Sale. He's made his return after a 10-week absence and provided a little something extra. He retired the first 14 batters against the Tigers. Oops, sorry, Taylor. Last night, combining with two relievers, only giving up two hits in a 5-2 victory. The win was the third straight for Boston. Yuck. Helping the Red Sox pull within 3 games of the goofy Blue Jays for the final wildcard spot in the American League East, the strongest division in baseball. Uh, help. Sale took a perfect game into the fifth, striking out Jake Rogers to lead off the inning, getting out Miguel Cabrera on a ground out. But the game wasn't over as Kerry Carpenter of the Tigers followed with a home run over the Red Sox bullpen when Sale hit the next batter, Javier Baez. Red Sox manager Alex Cora decided to make a goal call to the bullpen. They're like, guys, I need some help here. Help? What do you got? Okay. So anyway, he said, Sale said Cora told him, keep your eye on the big picture. I know the situation. I know one more hitter or whatever, said Sale, but I have too much respect to show off and push the envelope. Kyle Bargeloff walked Zach Short, gave up a single to Riley Green, cut the Red Sox to 4-2. Matt Verling struck out to end the inning. Overall, though, Sale had not a bad outing, striking out 7, allowed 2 runs, 1 hit, and threw 58 pitches. And he should start on Thursday against the Nationals. So not a bad night for your boy, huh, Steve? Yeah, yeah, right. 28. Right, I know. Uh-huh. Yeah, of course. I think so. But like I said, this is a tough division this year. Um, in the American League East. So every game, every team is above 500. So anything can happen. But for the Yankees, it's like they need to get their act together. Yeah. Yes, he did. No. Alex, was you in? All right. Any thoughts on with your Mets? Guys, I have an update on the Atlanta Braves Mets game. They still lost, but I got news for you. They did score a couple runs, but they still lost 21-3. Sorry. Yes, yes. Yeah. What a shame. So what do you think of your one of your Mets? They're really falling off a cliff now. Yeah. 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 All right, moving along, if I dare. Yeah. Sorry, folks. When your team is down, you're losing that badly. Yeah, you're gonna hear the things. By the way, did anybody catch before I go into more baseball? Anybody catch the first episode of Hard Knocks with the Jets? I did. Boy, was that ugly. I mean, and Robert Sala was just shooting his mouth off, and even Aaron Rodgers, who we think is Mr. Nice Guy. Oh no, I mean, he was like, oh boy. I mean, and they don't even add that stuff out, people. I mean, that is full live, uncensored, full throttle. And they were coming out pretty rough. Showing footage from the campsite and what they were doing. I mean, this is no holds barred. Preseason football and whatnot. And of course, all the attention is of course on Aaron Rodgers this year. Hoping to break out of the Jets slump. I mean, last week, like I said, I wasn't worried about the preseason loss to the Clowns last week. The Browns. It is preseason, but they could have won that game. If they didn't make a few mistakes, of course, by our quarterback. If you want to get a backup, though, I think I would go White. Yeah, yeah, yes, right. Yeah, Mike White. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go Mike White. I think I'd rather go Betty White. No. Oh, okay. All right. Moving along before any more bad jokes get in the way. Hey, but we had something interesting though Wednesday night. Any Phillies fans in the house? No. Oh, what a shame. Because you missed a great game on Wednesday night as Phillies ace pitcher Michael Lorenz. Well, he's going to get a few days because on Wednesday he threw a no hitter. That's right, he threw a no hitter on Wednesday. The right-hander threw 124 pitches. No hitter against Steve. I hate to say it was against the Nationals on Wednesday. Sorry. The first, this was his first start for the Phillies since being acquired from the Tigers. Oh boy, Taylor's going to kill me. Lorenzen won't pitch again for the 18th at Washington. The Phillies have been using a six-man rotation to reduce starters' workloads, and the Phillies have 2 days off next week, which at this point in the season is kind of rare. When we get down to the last 40 games, there aren't that many days off. Yesterday, Lorenzen said his arm was hurting 10% more than it would during a normal outing. His previous was 107 pitches in his rookie year 2015. Nothing too painful, he said, but the 8 days off is going to help a bit. But nevertheless, I mean, it's great to see that, he's had a no hitter. And that is the 14th no hitter in Phillies history. Not bad for a team that's got the most losses in Major League history at that, too. I mean, they were the first team to get 10,000 losses. Oh, wow. Ugly. So they're using a six-man rotation right now, but that is only going to be temporary. As soon as we get past the off days, it's back to the five-man rotation. Yeah. But I think that's pretty good news for for Philly, even though they're trailing Atlanta by about 11 and a half games. But still, that's remarkable for a team that may just make the wild card. Any thoughts, guys? Yeah. 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 Exactly. Oh, I just got some news about an upcoming game for the Knicks. The Knicks will host the Bucks on Christmas Day. This will be the third season in a row for the Knicks. It just came up on breaking news. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to it. Say what you will. Yes, Jimmy. Yes, especially in this area. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's going to be the 12 o'clock game, but we'll get more on that later. All right. Okay, I found some lightheaded articles here. How many of you guys remember a baseball player by the name of Fernando Valenzuela? Uh huh. Yes, I know I do. Okay, well, I'll get to that in a minute, Die. Okay, well, the Dodgers retired his number 34 jersey before last night's game against the Rockies. He said it was very emotional as he told a group of English and Spanish media reports, saying it's something he never expected. Oh, really? Now, come on. So he was in downtown LA yesterday, and what the city council said was Fernando Valenzuela Day. Now, when he came into the league, I mean, LA was exploding with excitement. I mean, really, much to my dismay. He became one of the most popular players in Dodgers history, and a post-game show honoring Fernando was said after the game. So it's going to be a whole weekend of activities. Today, they can give a bobblehead doll, and tomorrow, they're going to give away, oh, I hate to say this, a replica of the 1981 World Series ring, which I like to forget about in that series because they beat my Yankees in 6 games. Yeah, it broke the heart of an 11-year-old boy from New Jersey, namely me. Ugh, yuck. Excuse me, I gotta go puke. Anywho, Valenzuela became a sensation in 1981 as he won the World Series, the Rookie of the Year, and the NL Cy Young. And nobody did that before that. Interesting thing enough, though, because that season was kind of, interrupted. Because remember, that was also the year of a 57-day strike. So we weren't even sure if we were going to have World Series that year anyway. Because that started in June and went till August 12th. That's right. 42 years ago today, that strike ended. That brought relief to baseball fans everywhere. Huh. He was named opening day starter after original pitcher Jerry Roos was injured a day earlier. He responded with a 2-0 victory over the Astros and began the season 8-0 with 5 shutouts and an unbelievable, ridiculous ERA low of, ready for this, guys? 0.50. That was his ERA. Is that sickening or what? So, there's even worse. He still has franchise records with 141 wins, 1,759 strikeouts, 2,340 innings pitched, 320 starts, 107 complete games, 29 shutouts, and a partridge in the pantry. Okay, maybe not that one. I mean, quite a list for a guy. I mean, of course, he was a great pitcher. Too bad he just wasn't on our side. Ugh. Well, congratulations. Any thoughts on Venezuela's big day? Unreal. Yes, yes, the 80s version of Otani. Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, the thing, I thought we were going to win that World Series. We were up 2-0, and then the bottom fell out. The one that got away is right. Yeah. And Jose Bautista, is going to retire as a Blue Jay. He signed a 1-day contract on Thursday. Will retire as a member of Blue Jay, where he played for 10 seasons, the longest of his career. And of course, they had the famous bat flip to go with it. Oh. Bautista retires as a 6-time All Star. Career batting 247, had 344 home runs and 975 RBIs. He played 15 seasons for, I believe it's 7 different teams. For some reason, somebody said 8. I think it was only 7. In this band, but his time with the Blue Jays will be most remembered as the nickname Joe Bats. And he'll be added to the Blue Jays list of excellence at the Rogers Center today. His best season with the Blue Jays was in 2010 when he hit 54 home runs. Now, the bat flip came in Game 5 of the division series in 2015 against the Rangers, and it came off a 3-run homer. Oh, boy. In addition, Bautista has also played for the Orioles, the Royals, the Pirates, the Braves, the Mets, and the Phillies, as well as the Blue Jays. Yeah. Too bad he wasn't on that 93 team. You guys remember that one, right? You guys remember that 93 World Series, right? With the Blue Jays? Another sickening moment. Heavy. Touch them all, Joe. Oh, yuck. I was like in such disbelief after that game was over. I was mortified. Believe me, I was mortified. All right, so one more baseball note before we go on to. Well, wait, let me just check on the other trades before we move on. All right, for you Orioles fans, Cedric Mullins removed from the 10-day injured list from right groin strain. Yowza. Ryan McKenna sent to the minors, as well as Joey Kernoble. Nick Vespi called from the minors. Aaron Hicks was sent to the minors for rehab. Sorry. Mullins again recalled from rehab assignment. And as I mentioned, Chris Sale removed from the 60-day injured list with left shoulder inflammation. Ugh. Also, Yu Chang for the Red Sox was prior to the minors. Sorry. Nada. Yeah. Yes. Okay. No. Right. Yes. Hmm. By the way, for those of you watching the Jets game right now, the Jets are 3-0 for the Panthers. Okay. I know it's only preseason, but hey, it's the Jets. Come on. Okay, so for the Yankees, they call it Randy Vasquez called up from the minors, as well as Johnny Brito. I think he's already there. And Nestor Cortez placed on the 15-day injury list with a strained rotator cuff. Ugh, that is ugly. Okay, so now I'm going to get to my idiot of the week, and I think some of you will agree to that. Oh boy, here it comes. All right, so, and then we'll do some football a little bit later on. All right, my idiot of the week goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards, as he was fined $50,000 by the league for swinging a folding chair that struck two innocent bystanders at the conclusion of their season-ending series against the Denver Nuggets, who went on to win the NBA championship. The ruling was announced back on Wednesday, 4 months after the incident, because of a criminal investigation into Edwards' conduct, which was dismissed last month, basically for being an idiot. NBA executive Joe Dumars, said in a press conference, if I can get that ding out of here, okay, in a press release that Edwards was fined the $50,000 for recklessly swinging a chair in frustration and hit two people for apparently no reason at all. Edwards missed a game-tying three at the end of the Wolves' game 5 to the Nuggets and ran out the court as both teams exchanged handshakes. I'm surprised he actually did that. Cameras caught Edwards swinging at the chair before heading to the locker room. Edwards agreed to a rookie max extension worth $260 million with the Wolves and is currently involved with Team USA as they are heading to the World Cup, which begins 2 weeks from today, actually. Interesting. Wait. Yeah, 2 weeks from today. That's right. So I would think this has to be a pretty big idiot right there for the stupidity that you did, and you injured two people. It doesn't take much brains to do that, right, people? Yeah. Aha. Mercy. Today. Oh, today. Wow. Yes. Yes. Pay your child support. Okay. I got to move on. Okay. Yeah. Do your MMA report. Go ahead. Go do your. Oh. Yeah, Gerald. Okay. One at a time, guys. One at a time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, Steve had to take off because he's gonna get ready for his own show later on. I understand that. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Okay. So moving. What's the leave? Okay. Bryce James, son of LeBron, will play for Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks in the 2023-24 season. The junior guard made his announcement after having his first practice um, Thursday. He played his first two seasons at Sierra Canyon High School with his older brother Bronny, who's also going to become a star. Bryce was recently transferred to Campbell near Studio City, but already reconsidered. 24/7 Sports listed James as the number 14 shooting guard in the class of 2025. We got to wait for that. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of tough to compare to his legend like your father. So, but I certainly wish him the best of luck. He's got a lot to live up to, though. Wouldn't you say, guys? Yeah, right. So really got, but I'm hoping he's gonna do well. Yep. Guess what, guys? Oh wait, just a second because I had another story on another on one, of course, with the concerning Lionel Messi. As I mean, he is on fire. I mean, he hasn't done anything wrong since he came into the league, and he's really making Miami, noteworthy here. He scored five. He scored in every game since he came in the league, and it's turned Miami season around like you wouldn't even believe. So okay. He has scored in every game for Miami since he came to the league, and has now headed the League Cup semifinals with a 4-0 win over Charlotte last night. Messi scored his eighth goal in 5 games since he arrived. Came just 4 minutes left. With Miami up 3-0 already, it was the perfect ending in front of a sellout crowd 22,000. Miami will now face last year's Eastern Conference champion, the Philadelphia Union, as their incredible turnaround season continues, which I didn't think they had much of a chance anyway. Yusef Martinez scored the opening goal in the 12th minute. He took a penalty ahead of Messi for the second time in 3 games, but found it anyway. Messi's second goal came at the 30-minute mark, with Messi's run into the penalty box, taking the Charlotte defenders U.S. international DeAndre Yeldon found the run wide open. Robert Taylor home a low shot from the center of the area. Perhaps no other players flourished more than Messi's debut than Taylor after scoring 5 goals in 52 MLS games. The midfielder from Finland has 4 goals in the last 5 games with Messi by his side. Before Messi arrived, Miami had the fewest goals in the league. Since then, they have scored at least 3 goals per game. Not bad for a guy who's actually scored 800 goals in his career overall. So Miami's fortune is turning around thanks to Messi. Jimmy, your thoughts on your thoughts on soccer's version of Wayne Gretzky? Oh boy, no, yes. I wish they would have brought more games on broadcast TV so we could see it because, of course, Messi is the best. I know some people might think it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, I'll give you half credit for that, but Messi, is like like I said, the Babe Ruth of soccer, the Wayne Gretzky of soccer, the Michael Jordan of it. You name it. I mean, there's just no stopping this guy, and he's not that young either. Yeah. All right. So moving on, we go from one World Cup to another because the FIBA World Cup will be just a few weeks away, but one of the biggest names of the game is out. The Greek Freak Giannis will not be playing in the tournament as he's recovering from off-season knee surgery. After months of work and meetings with the medical staff, it is clear He said, "I am not ready to compete at this level, and I need to participate for the World Cup," he said on social media. "This was not my choice, yet it was only the only option in ensuring that I get back to the level of basketball that I worked so hard to achieve for my career." He says, though disappointed, this was a decision that was clearly made by the medical staff, and I think the right decision indeed. The Greek national team already listed Giannis as doubtful anyway, as it was in camp and several warm-up games. But there is hope that Giannis would get clearance after a scheduled return to the U.S. with a follow-up visit with doctors. Unfortunately, that did not turn out the case. The outcome impacts Team USA, who is scheduled to face Greece on the 28th. It was Greece that upset the U.S. in the 26th World Cup in Japan. The Bucks announced last month that Giannis underwent a procedure on his left knee to clean up some loose cartilage, and the Bucks were limited by the Heat in the first round in the playoffs, and did not specify exactly when the Greek Freak had the procedure. But the superstar had made it known he tried to make his way of playing in the tournament. Which I think, if he wasn't injured, I think maybe the Bucks would have beat that series against Miami. Unless you all guys think I'm crazy. But I think his absence really put a dent, you know, in the season because they won the most. They had the best regular season, um, in the regular season, and they just fell off after the injury. So this doesn't look so good for the Greek team right now. Any thoughts, guys? Any thoughts, Steve? All right, Gerald, Jimmy, Jimmy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The World Cup basketball. Yeah, the World Cup basketball same impact as the World Cup of soccer. We'll put it to you that way. That I know for sure. And by the way, Messi's official MLS debut, I think, will be on the 27th as his team advances in the league Cup series. All right. For you Knicks fans, Josh Hart is finalizing a deal of 4 years of 81 million with the Knicks. That was told by CAA Sports. Both sides were working on the final details on Wednesday. Once fully completed, Hart will continue his participation with Team USA is on its way to the World Cup. So, congratulations, we're gonna get something. We're gonna get something good. Hart's deal, I believe he has signed. That was signed on Thursday. Will deliver him a total of $94 million through 27-28. The 81 million is the max he can sign for his 140% of his $12.9 million contract for this season. He'll receive 18.1 million in 2024-25. Hart came to the Knicks from the Blazers at the trade deadline and made an impact on the franchise, advancing in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Because nobody expected them to do so well last season. Funny, I did. You can call me crazy all you want, but I did. Okay. All right. So on to football now. As we get here, I've got to clear some of this stuff off here. Jeez. Okay. Also, Phillies first baseman DH Bryce Harper left Thursday's game with back spasms. Manager uh, Phillies said Harper was being evaluated. Manager Rob Thompson said it was a day-to-day type injury, so he shouldn't be out for very long. He was credited with an error on a grounder by Dominic Smith in the fourth when he went to field a ball that in the first there's hit the first base tag that bounced off his chest, and the play was then called a hit. Oh dear. After Harper reached for the loose ball. Replay showed that Harper was trying to flex his legs and shoulders to loosen his back. He stayed in the game, but was pulled in the top of the fifth. Harper was playing his 12th game at first base after starting 70 at DH following offseason Tommy John surgery, eliminated 8 games in right field last season. He had not previously played in the infield. He had not previously played in the infield after 1,446 games, as either outfielder or DH. And Harper has 7 home runs this season with 38 RBIs. All right. Okay, moving along. And for you football guys out there, Anthony Richardson is started today for the Colts. Started Anthony Richardson, who was playing against the Bills in today's game. Richardson, who was selected 4th in this year's draft, continues to battle with Gardner Minshew for the starting job, but head coach Shane Stenton stopped short of suggesting his decision. Now, with a step closer to being named as Week 1. The Colts were more interested in learning about him in action. Stetson says he expects starters to play at least one quarter in action in Buffalo, which that game was held earlier today. Richardson only played one season at Florida, lacks experience than most of the first-round picks, as I've seen. But the Colts have taken a more aggressive approach, introducing him to the league with Richardson splitting first-team snaps and practices with Minshew. Diane, you're a Bills fan. No question. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, anybody else? Anyone else have any thoughts? Yeah. Right. How about you, Gerald? You're probably right. No. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, Gerald, what do you make of your third baseman for the Rangers? Your third baseman for the Rangers. He underwent surgery on his left thumb. Uh-huh. Yeah, the Rangers said that he saw a hand specialist and inserted a plate of screws to stabilize the fracture of Jung's left thumb, which actually was usually a time frame of about 3 to 4 weeks to recover. Because the injury was to his left hand, the Rangers are planning to reevaluate Jung before determining a more accurate timetable for his return to the field. He was an all-star starter in last month's All-Star game, which injured while fielding a line drive off the bat of Jorge Soler of the Marlins. Jung has 22 home runs this year and 67 RBIs and is considered one of the candidates for American League Rookie of the Year. So hopefully that won't have an effect on that. I mean, you're going against me Rookie of the Year. One time about that happen. So good luck on that one. All right. Yeah. Congratulations on that. All right. And what was the second A of the week? Although now I have to update this afterwards. Orioles broadcaster Kevin was reportedly removed from the Mason broadcast after making a reference to the Orioles' lack of success against the Rays at Tropicana Field. Before a game against the Rays on July 23rd, Brown noted the Orioles had won as many games at Trop Field in 2023 as they have in the last 3 seasons. A combined graphic showed the Orioles struggled. They accompanied by Brown's commentary. The Orioles ownership group took issue with the comment, according to the reports reported by Awful Announcing and The Athletic, and Brown never appeared on the Madison broadcast since, up until last night, that is. So I'm going to update on that right now because last night he actually did return to the game for the first time since the incident there. You know, why would you say that again for your against your own team? You know, you're supposed to support him, not knock him down. You know, I mean, why would you say something against your own team? You would have to be an idiot. You know, you're yeah. So it's like two idiots of the week die. So anyway, Brown of the okay. So to continue on with this, according to reports on Monday, the ownership took issue with the comment and was off the air till yesterday. Recent media reports have mistaken the relationship that Brown had with the Orioles, saying that on social media. The fact is that Brown has a wonderful relationship with the organization and front office since he joined the Orioles in 2019. So basically, I think maybe there's some miscommunication with that. Well, of course, that can happen because I don't know if anybody would be dumb enough to, say against your own team. Unless you're just a complete lunatic. Yeah. Oh, Diane, your trivia. Go ahead. Okay, fine. Okay. You know, Mantle, Wagner, Wagner. Wow, he was one of the greatest base hitters of all time. Uh, hmm. He played without a glove. Legally blind. Oh, so before Jim Abbott. Ah, so that was before Jim Abbott. Way before. What was that? Uh, I I forgot, but I don't think they're in existence anymore. Yeah. Sparky Lyle. Ugh. Wow. My how things change. My how things change. Okay, so moving on. The Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame will enshrine their new class as we speak this weekend. The full list of nominees were announced in December, Finalists were announced during the All-Star weekend in Salt Lake, and the full class was announced during the men's and women's Final Four. The class of 2023 is enshrined today. The new summer date reflects on the effort for Enshrinement Weekend to be more accessible for fans and guests. A change in dates from the recent celebrations that were held the week after Labor Day, as I recall. The Enshrinement Weekend began last night in Mohegan Sun in Connecticut with a table celebration and awards gala. Jack and ring presentation at the annual Hall of Fame Awards. The enshrinement ceremony will take place in Springfield, Mass. Today, probably as we speak. Not bad. All right, guys, I gotta do this story because this one, let's just say, hits close to home. Uh, some of you might know this, but my baseball team, my Little League baseball team in East Hanover, also represents Florham Park, made the regional rounds of the baseball playoffs this past week. That's right, yours truly hometown. The East Hanover Florham Park All-Stars took on Massapequa, New York on Tuesday at Bristol, the home of ESPN. The Hornets lost 10-1 game one in the Metro Regional Playoff on Tuesday. And unfortunately, the loss began on Wednesday. It was a rough in the beginning as Massapequa scored 7 runs in the bottom of the first, and 3 more in the bottom of the third. So the game was pretty much over early at that. For those of you who don't know, it was a double elimination round, so they had another chance on Wednesday, but Rhode Island just beat the pants off them 10-4 in game 2 on Wednesday. Nevertheless, it's quite an accomplishment that a team from my hometown actually made the Little League playoffs. No one's ever heard of East Hanover until now because you can't even find it on a map of New Jersey. I kid you not. I looked up one time. Now, yeah. Well, we won our regional. So although I don't look at it, even though we get the win, it is a feel-good story of the week because my hometown was in it. Nice job. Yeah. So congratulations, East Hanover. And hopefully it'll get better like next year. So they were eliminated on Wednesday. It looked like competitive at first because they did come back to tie in the bottom of the first. But Rhode Island, those New England teams are just too tough. I mean, they really are. Yeah. So Rhode Island beat them, and the winner of this tournament, of course, now heads to the Little League World Series, which begins on this week coming up. Actually, it begins on Wednesday. Oh boy, here we go. New Jersey has not won, I think, since 1997 when Tom's River won the championship, and I remember that one very well. I think somebody came out of that too. I mean, it was playing at one time in baseball. Melvin's here. Hey, Mel. All right. So we got, we're discussing all over the board. We got football, preseason. We got Major League Baseball. Is there anything that interests you want to bring up? Floor is open. Yeah. Yes. Right. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Right. Oh, so anyway, now we got you here. Okay, we'll take our preseason football predictions. Now, Mel, you're new to this show, fairly new. So we do the preseason a little bit different. We don't do who's going to win every game and whatnot because it's only preseason. So what I want for next week's games now, because this week's already begun, I want you to take one game that you think is going to be the most interesting. I'll read down the list. Okay, ready? If I can get this contraption. Here we go. All right, ready? Here we go. Thursday, the Browns against the Eagles. Friday will be the Panthers versus the Giants. The Bengals versus the Falcons. Saturday is the Jaguars versus the Lions. The Dolphins taking on the Texans. The Bills taking on the Steelers. The Bears on the Colts. The Bucks taking on my Jets. Them taking on the Packers. I'm sorry, Patriots. Sorry. He's taking on the Vikings. The Chiefs taking on the Cardinals. The Broncos taking on the 49ers. The Raiders taking on the Rams. Ooh, Battle of LA. And the Cowboys taking on the Seahawks. Sunday, the Saints taking on the Chargers. Rams taking on the Raiders on Saturday. Sorry. The Saints take on the Chargers, Saints rather. And Monday, the Ravens taking on Washington. All right, guys. So what game do you like this week? Steve, I'll start with you. Ooh, okay. Yeah. What do you got, Alex? What do you have for next week? Just pick one game. Just pick one game. Right. Mel? Okay. Yes. Yep. Arrow should be back. All right. Jimmy. Wrote the Raven Nevermore. Right. Gerald. Yeah, Gerald. Just pick one game. One game. And Diane. For the record, please. What a shock. Uh, no, I kind of like the Bengals Falcons matchup, so I'm going to go with that. Thanks a lot, Mel. And by the way, next week we will take our first college preseason college predictions because, like I said, the week after that is the start of the college football season, and since those games start anyway, I always jump a week ahead because you know games are already in progress by the time I go on the air. So there's no way I'm going to go back and forth to that. You get the idea. So, Melvin, I hope you do tune in throughout the college and pro football season as well. I mean, it's really nice having you here. All right, so now we'll move on to some more stuff. Oh, by the way, I think I just came across another idiot. As former receiver for the Raiders, Henry Ruggs, the third, was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison from a November 2021 drunk driving incident that ended up killing a young woman and her dog. I remember that. Ruggs could be eligible for parole in 3 years. A Clark County District Judge called Ruggs today was one of the most tragic cases I've ever seen, and you're only going to give him 3 to 10 years. Where's the sense in that? Ruggs had been under house arrest with alcohol and monitoring devices since pleading guilty May 1st to one count of DUI that resulted in death and one count of vehicular manslaughter that killed Tina Tintor. On earlier this week, Ruggs made a statement directed at her family, which he apologized for his actions. Ruggs has faced a sentence of 3 to 10 years at Nevada State Prison since May. The Raiders cut Ruggs the day after the crash. So, also earlier this week on August 9th, marked the first time that the victim's family has spoken to anyone about the crash. Just a senseless tragedy. And, of course, that was his own stupidity for driving, under the influence. If you haven't done that, maybe that never would have happened. How stupid can some people be? Well, yeah, but still, that never should have occurred. Yeah, that cost somebody's life too. Exactly. That's exactly my point. Okay. And Team USA is on a roll as in that last exhibition game, they beat Puerto Rico 117-74, even though despite the fact they were showing in the first half. But USA is going back up to where they were. Okay. Oh, here's the former number two pick, Jabari Parker, signed with Barcelona FC back last week. The Spanish club made the announcement back on August 7th before last playing the NBA for the Boston Celtics. Oh, dear. The Bucks drafted Parker on 24 months after Andrew Wiggins, very respected player. In 8 seasons, Parker averaged 41 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, played 310 games, and 190 starts for 6 different teams. Jabari played his college ball at Duke and was an ACC Freshman of the Year in 2013-2014. Does somebody have something on? Sounds like a washing machine exploded. No, it's a washing machine. Wait a minute. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Joe, are you okay? Joe. Yeah, because I hear something from your end. All right. Okay. So, I forgot to do our This Week in History moment last week, so I'm going to bring that up right now before I forget again. Uh, all right. This is not one of our regular speakers, Melvin, so, you might find it interesting. And of course, those of you who are regulars know about this. Sports history. Okay, you guys ready? Good. Glad somebody is. All right, so away we go. All right. Don't think I'm going to go back too far because some of this we don't even follow. Wow. Okay, 1936. After a 24-year absence, baseball demonstrations played between two American teams at the Berlin Olympics. World champs beat U.S. Olympic team 6-5. Okay. Um, Cleveland Indians get 29 hits in a 9-inning game back in 1948. Wow. Yeah. 29 hits back then when they were called the Indians. The 16th NFL Chicago All-Star game, Philadelphia beat the All-Stars 38-0 in front of a crowd of 93,000 plus. In 1960, at the NFL Chicago All-Star game, Baltimore beat the All-Stars 32-7 in front of a crowd of 70,000. See, there was Pro Bowl. There was an All-Star game before the Pro Bowl. Oh, 1963, Stan the Man announces he retired at the end of the year. Great player. Yeah. In 64, Mickey Mantle switch hits, home run record, 10th and final time in the game, with one going of a distance of 502 feet. 1965, the Brewers Baseball Club looks to become an NHL franchise. In 67, the Saints had their first preseason victory as they beat St. Louis 23-14. In 1969, The Celtics were sold for a record 6 million at the time. Only 6 million? Wow, times have changed. Uh, moving on. 1974, Nolan Ryan strikes out 19 and walks only two as they beat the Red Sox. Sorry. 1974, Mickey Mantle and Whitey Ford, bless you, become first teammates inducted into the Hall of Fame on the same day. Wow. 1978. Oh, I think you guys remember this. New England Patriots wide receiver Darryl Stingley suffers a spinal cord injury, leaving him a complete quadriplegic after hit by Oakland Raiders Jack Tatum in a preseason exhibition. Oh, we heard about that. Yeah, yeah. 1984, Braves beat the Padres 5-3, which featured two brawls and 19 injections in the same game. Wow. Yuck. All right. 1984, at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Hey, got a good one here. Harmon Killebrew, Rick Farrell, Don Drysdale, and Pee Wee Reese and Luis Aparicio were inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame at Cooperstown all on the same day. Wow. 1986, Don Baylor gets hit by a pitch for a record 25 times in one season. Yeah, that's a record you don't want. Boston Red Sox beat the Tigers 9-4 for American League record 23rd consecutive win at home in 1988. Yuck. 1994. The first NFL game ever on the Fox network, an exhibition game. The 49ers took on the Broncos. Oh, yeah. And also on this date, in a sad moment in history, I think you'll all remember this. It was on this day in 1994 that the Major League Baseball Players Association go on strike and led to the cancellation for the World Series. Yuck. Beautiful labor dispute. Yeah, guys, remember that one, right? Yeah. 2008, Michael Phelps won his third of eight gold medals at the Beijing Olympics. He takes the 200-meter freestyle with a world record of 1 minute 42 seconds. And Natalie Coughlin becomes the first to successfully defend the gold medal in the women's 100-meter backstroke when she also won at Beijing. And Ledecky, she's just too good. Ledecky sets a world record of 8 minutes 4 seconds to dominate the women's 800-meter field at the Rio Olympics. Her medal tally: 4 gold and 1 silver, made her the most decorated U.S. female athlete of the Olympics, and now is the most decorated swimmer in Olympic history. In fact, I think she's the most decorated Olympian, period. And Usain Bolt injured himself in the very last race of the men's 4x100-meter relay as Jamaica misses a goal at the World Championships in 2017, and was later replaced by his twin brother, Usain Bolt. No, it's forget it. I'm not doing that. Just a joke, folks. Yeah, I know that was pretty bad. All right, okay, we have. Is this Matt? All right, Matt. Good. So, anything you want to bring up? Yeah, I heard. Wow. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. But I'm sure it's an honor to go to that. To be to go to the Hall of Fame. That's yeah, yeah. Hopefully, you'll better luck with your cell phone too. Oof. Yeah. All right. So for you football fans, the Saints are uh, hold on a second. Rays top pitcher Shane McClanahan is unlikely to pitch again this season, according to manager Kevin Cash. He will consult with another specialist on his left forearm before making a final decision on his status. But Cash said every option is on the table and might undergo surgery. Might, not definite. Let's keep in mind. Cash told reporters that McClanahan is scheduled to see Dr. Keith Messer, a very well-renowned surgeon. McClanahan also has met with another surgeon, Dr. Neil uh, Echelet, another well-renowned surgeon. He is 11-2 with an ERA of 3.29 this season, was placed on the 15-day injured list after struggling against the Yankees, where he allowed 5 runs in 4 innings. Okay. Not, not good with that one. And the Martin, yeah, yeah. Great. And not only that, but yeah, and Ronald Acuna Jr. was hit on left elbow on a pitch from the Pirates reliever Colin Holderman back on the 8th, and it was in the 6th inning. It was a 97 miles per hour fastball from Holderman that Acuna tried to escape before ran into his yellow elbow guard. The good news is that 2 innings later, it was announced that X-rays were negative. So at least that's some sort of good news. He's one of the best players in the major this season, and the Braves have the best record in the leagues. He led the game off with his 26th home run of the year, his 31st leadoff of his career, and his 5th leadoff home run of the season. It was 1 for 3 in the game. Acuna has 53 stolen bases in 111 games this season. So he'll be out, but not out for very long. But just don't mention that if you're a Marlins fan, because the Marlins hate that guy so much. Okay, it's true. They hate him with a passion. I mean, everybody in the Marlins locker room has darts on his picture. Oh yeah. Let's put it this way: it's the guy they love to hate. All right. Moving on in the postseason. Yeah. Right. I thought I was. No, just oh, never mind. Okay, so turning it into the postseason, the MLB released its postseason schedule back on Tuesday, and the postseason begins on October 3rd, with the World Series beginning on October 27th, ending on November 3rd if it goes the full 7 games, or November 4th if it gets rained out. So the best of 5 decision begins on October 7th and will end no later than the 13th or 14th for both leagues. Besides traveling days, there's an extra day off between games 1 and 2 of the NL Division Series. That's why it ends a day later. The best of 7 ALCS begins on the 15th and the NLCS on the 16th. Makes a lot of sense. Last season, MLB changed their playoff format, increasing the number of postseason teams in each league to 6, with the 2 top division winners earning a first-round bye to the division series. And the 3rd division winner will play the number 3 wildcard team in round 1. The remaining 2 wildcard teams will face off with the team with their regular season record, hosting all 3 games in that series, as well as the 3rd division winner. Well, that makes sense. In that kind of series, I think it is, to have the hosting the all 3 games in that series. It is an odd number. But going into November, I don't like that though. It gets too cold and everything, and gets all kind of messed up. So, if for me, I think it would start the season a little bit, start the postseason earlier, if at all possible. But the commissioner wants year-round baseball. I think they want to start the postseason early, and just extend the postseason. I mean, that's got to be nuts. I mean, it wasn't back when we were young guys. The World Series ended before Halloween. Now the World Series is just beginning around Halloween. You should have kept the way it was by not doing, the division series of 3 of 5. That's what started this whole thing to begin with. But they figured, hey, it's a moneymaker, so why not? Yeah, why not? Anyone else have any thoughts Baseball playing in polar bear weather. Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's gonna make it more money die by you know, oops. Yeah, what's going on, guys? What's in the background? Let me take a roll call. All right. It's not Steve. Diane's here. All right. Okay, it's not Jimmy. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, something's going on. I know it's not me. All right. All right. Melvin, can you hear me, Melvin? Okay, okay. Gotta make sure everything's all clear away. So as I was saying, it's a moneymaker, but it's not always a smart thing to do. Well, not to mention, the player's health, because injuries can really acquire at that time of year. Hang on a second. All right, never mind. Now we got it. And we got another call. Greg, anything you want to bring up? We got 10 minutes to go. Yes, right. Good. No, there we go. Obviously. Yeah. 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 Yes. Yes. Right. Yeah. Right. Yes. Right. Okay. Oh, I got some more news here. Okay. Oh, Steve, I got some news for you. Well, you'll like this, even though you're a Cowboy hater. The Cowboys cut kicker Tristan Vizcaino. Coach Mike McCarthy said uh, on Monday that Brandon Aubrey is the only kicker left on the 90-man roster after Vizcaino was released. But the Cowboys could add another kicker, or might, as the teams across the league pare down their kickers, such as Mason Crosby and Robbie Gould remain available. But the Cowboys have yet to express interest in either player. In 8 practices, Vince Gilliam made 22 of 35 attempts on team drills and was just 4 of 8 in last Saturday's practice. That included 4 straight misses, though one was the result of a bad snap. Well, they do have that. Aubrey, who played the Stallions of the USFL this spring, made 26 of 35 attempts, but was 1 3rd in game-winning situations last week. The Cowboys interested in 2 kickers in the draft. Jake Moody and Chad Ryland, but both were selected earlier than the team wanted to select as a kicker. Teddy Bridgewater going to the Lions. Oh, great. While this with the signing, Bridgewater will reunite with Dan Campbell, who was the Saints' assistant head coach and tight ends coach when Bridgewater was with the Saints. The deal should become official by next week. Bridgewater adds depth behind Jared Goff, who is the Lions' clear-cut starter. The Lions were looking for the highest level of insurance and bringing in the backup. Although Goff was healthy enough and played well last season at depth, the position was not very strong, with punter Jack Fox being the only other player on the roster to complete a pass. Backup quarterback Nate Sudfeld appeared in 2 games but did not register any stats at all. Bridgewater visited the Lions last month and did not sugarcoat any interest with him. We are in year 3 of Campbell's tenure, and I think we're in a much better position, and you want to know that you're in the best hands possible. I will leave it at that, but it's the competition. But it's the competition. Campbell took first last. Yeah. Let me think. Yeah. He told him on July 25th. It does not mean Nate is out of anything if we go this route. If it works, you really feel good. Whoever comes out of the fire, it's going to be the right guy to help you along the way. But yet, you don't want the wheels to fall off. Yeah, I'll give you that. Nobody wants to see the wheels fall off, And DeMarco Reyes said that right tackle Tyus Howard will be missing some time due to a hand injury. He signed a 3-year deal worth $56 million, $36 million guaranteed before they started training camp, but injured his hand during practice last Saturday. It was not known just how he was injured. Gee, you don't know? That's a shame. Swing tackle George Faint, who was signed with the Texans less than 2 weeks ago, will not start at right tackle while Howard recovers. Oh, I got another basketball note here. College basketball champion UConn will take on North Carolina in the GMV Classic, and FAU, Florida International, will take place as well. I'm putting this on the calendar already. The 2 matchups will take place on December 5th at Madison Square Garden. Both will air on ESPN. 3 of the 4 teams are ranked in the way too early top 25. UConn number 5, Florida number 9. And Florida will play USC, UNC that is, at number 15. All 3 teams have made the Final Four runs in the last 2 seasons. UConn brings back 2 starters, and breakout star Donovan Clingan from a team that cruised through all 6 games en route to a championship by winning every game by at least a 13-point lead. UConn also welcomes transfer student Cam Spencer from Rutgers, and a top 3 class that includes top 5 prospect Stephen Castle. Had to be from Rutgers. Yeah, had to be from Rutgers, though. Thanks a lot. Yep. And yes, and NHL defenseman Matt Dumba, or Dumbbell, whatever you want to call it, agreed to a 1-year, $3.9 million deal with the Coyotes, according to multiple reports, as they look to could be a team that could get richer in the future. And the Coyotes are still looking for a new team, but maybe they found it. Because right now they're only playing in a stadium that only holds like 5,000 people. But it looks like the Coyotes might get a chance to get a new stadium ready within the next very shortly. So I'll have to wait on that. They can use it because that team was just like, ugh. Well, yeah, they need it though. And the Canucks signed Pius Suter to a 2-year deal yesterday with a value of $1.6 million. Suter played the last 2 seasons with the Red Wings. His contract had a $3.25 million cap hit. He is from Sweden, and he made his debut with the Blackhawks in 2020-2021. He had 14 goals and 10 assists last season for the Red Wings and played in 79 games. He's not related to Gary Suter, who was also with the St. Louis Blues. And Luka Doncic is off the active roster for Slovenia for today's pre-Cup tournament against the U.S. for precautions. This was the second game of back-to-back for Slovenia, who lost to Spain yesterday. Doncic has 17 points and he had two triple doubles in 3 appearances with the national team this summer before tuning up with the World Cup now just 2 weeks away. So this might hurt Slovenia. In a statement made by the team, it does not want to leave anything to chance before heading into Japan as they continue to prepare for the World Cup. Slovenia was seventh in the world rankings, is seeking their first medal after finishing fourth in Tokyo. So good luck on that one. All right. So next week we'll continue with baseball. We'll have an update on the Little League World Series, of course. We'll keep tabs on World Cup soccer. Like I said, we'll also have our college football first picks of the year. So I hope you guys can tune into that as week 0 begins in 2 weeks. Week 0. That's such a weird name to call it. But it is weird. Well, that's like their version of preseason. They call it the cream puff schedule. Yeah, and Maple Leafs signed forward Easton Cowan yesterday to a 3-year entry-level deal. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. I'm always the last to know. What a shock. You guys get the. Oh yeah, the Coyotes owner Alex Merlo has executed a letter of intent to purchase a parcel of land in Northwest Mesa with the potential of building a new sports arena and entertainment complex. The Coyotes remain committed to building their first privately funded sports facility in Arizona history and suing the Valley as the club's permanent home, the Coyotes said in a statement. But they're also interested in exploring other potential sites as well. The Coyotes are called Glendale Homes for 20 years from 2003 to 2022 until the city council decides not to renew their lease. Right now, they're playing in the middle of nowhere in the Mullet Arena, which only holds about 5,000 people on the campus of Arizona State University. Which is a pretty nice campus and a stadium, but that's no place for a hockey arena. Come on. I mean, really? Yeah. Plus, I can watch those cactuses too. Oh, boy. Yeah. I know. Womp womp. Oh, boy. All right. So I want to thank everyone for coming in. Rasal's going to be coming up. He'll have an interesting show, I'm sure. I'll join him in a little while. So, like I said, get ready for next week because it's going to be, interesting week, especially with our first college football picks. Of course, we'll continue with the NFL preseason as well, and anything else that happens in the sports world, as we are the source for breaking news. One might expect. So until next week, same time, same station. I want to wish everybody a good week. By the way, if you're out in Texas and everything, try to stay cool as best as you can because I know it's been very hot out there. Right, Gerald? And for those of you in the east, it's been pretty wet out here, so stay dry if you can as well. So on that note, I'll leave it at that, and we'll talk again next week. On that note, have a good week.